My husband worked security in an upscale lakefront community. The very day a billionaire set her sights on him, he asked for a divorce, terrified I'd block his sprint up the golden ladder. I agreed cheerfully and scrawled my name on the divorce decree while the ink was still wet. 1 month later I spotted him in the complex, paraded on a leash like a dog by that moneyed woman. A 6'2" frame, whittled down to something barely human. Julia, as long as you sign, I won't forget the favor. Once I'm living the better life, I'll make sure you're taken care of. Leo's grin couldn't stay in its lane. I'm walking away clean, those cramped rooms bored me years ago. I practically danced as the pages crawled out of the printer. Before they even cooled I yanked the decree and signed. I rose, meeting his eyes. I get it, we're divorced now. Go, don't waste another second. He sneered. Julia, I know you've always looked down on me, even refused to have my kid. From today on, I'm out of your league. Joy ballooned in me. A gift like that really exists? Jamie pointed at me, each word a hammer. What the hell do you mean? You won't cry till you see the coffin, is that it? Still feigning innocence, since it's such a golden ticket, why are you still jawing at me? Scared someone else will grab it if you're late? Leo ground his teeth, gave a sharp nod, then whirled, only for me to snag his sleeve. Hey, for old time's sake let me remind you, she's a billionaire. He cocked a brow. I went on, count on endless luxury. Treasure it, swallow every bitterness whole. Watching him flounce off, I shook my head, already picturing the face he'd make once he met the real Serena. He never even bothered coming home. True to his word, he left with nothing but the shirt on his back. Serena's mansion sits in the villa quarter behind our community, separated from our townhouse by a narrow lake. When we first moved in we heard the Vance family, the richest tycoons around, lived back there. These days, with their business shifting overseas, only the sole heiress Serena remains. No skills, no degree, just a decent build and a pretty enough face, yet Leo had worked security here for one reason. He'd been digging for her address day and night. Fortune finally blinked. This morning she tossed him the olive branch. By noon our marriage was dust. I was more pumped than he was. After all, the memory of that bowl of poison still scorched my throat from the life before. Back then my aging parents couldn't stomach the word divorce, and my stalling turned me into the boulder blocking Leo's path. So he simply poisoned me. Under the weight of male strength I died wretched and screaming. Thinking about it now, I'd been an idiot. Since someone's desperate to sprint into hell, why not hand him the map? The instant Leo walked out, my own life snapped into technicolor. Same commute to work, except today our gate was under repair, funneling me through the villa checkpoint. First time using that entrance, I had to park, step out, and register at the security hut. Murphy's Law struck. Serena sashayed in to file Leo's resident paperwork at the very same moment. She recognized me. Her copy of our divorce decree was probably still warm. Leo hovered behind her, obedient as a cocker spaniel. Serena, paperwork's done, let's go. Serena arched a brow. Dylan, not even a hello for an old friend? Embarrassment blotched his face. I greeted him sunnily. Long time no see. How's the new chapter treating you? I could barely believe my eyes. His hands were trembling. The man I remembered feared neither heaven nor earth. Shaking had never been in his repertoire. Serena clicked her tongue, amused. Why this gate? Still living here? I shrugged. Leo's generous, left me the townhouse to speed his reunion with you. I'm too lazy to move. Panic flashed across his features. No, well, yes, the place was marital property. I just skipped the wrangling to reach you faster. I sighed theatrically. Rest easy, Leo's loyal. Even when you tire of him he'll sing your praises. Serena's eyes widened, glittering. So no matter what I do, even if you can't stand it, you'll stay and think I'm wonderful, right? His smile looked stapled on as he nodded. I tilted my head. You used to swagger, Leo. Rough month, or did reality finally say hello? Serena's grin sharpened. Dylan, nothing's gone wrong, life's been smooth as silk. Their private code sailed over my head, but every sentence out of her mouth ratcheted his dread another notch. He might as well have been on the rack. The more he squirmed, the wider I smiled. I clasped Serena's hand. I still remembered drifting bodiless while she unveiled her darling innocent mask and the psycho underneath. Serena, you're young, maybe you haven't tested his limits. Take it from me, Leo's vigorous. Healthy too, play without worry. Predictably, her lips curled in delight. Leo swayed, finger stabbing at me. Julia, you trying to get me killed? I gave you the damn townhouse. I blinked. Harm you? Weren't you begging for exactly this? If we'd had the money, we'd probably have kids by now. I'd wasted enough of their morning. Those parting words would ferment into a lovely nightmare for him. I collected my pass and sauntered off. I thought he'd lie low for a while. Turns out payback can't wait. Back when we bought in, our budget only stretched to a mid-floor walk-up unit. On my way home from work, I hadn't even reached the building entrance before I saw the crowd. My ex-mother-in-law spotted me coming, both of her hands crammed full, one clutching my makeup bag, the other my jewelry box. "Julia, you actually dared to send my son packing with nothing. He's a changed man, and it's all your fault. These are your compensation." I curled my lips at the loot and, ignoring the lunatic perched on the window ledge, walked straight inside. Just as I'd predicted, a woman with her petty nerve would never dare hurl those things from the balcony. She slammed the bags onto the coffee table, jabbing a finger at my nose. "For 20+ years my son has never groveled like this. Now if you raise your voice he jumps out of his skin. Isn't that your handiwork?" I pretended to gasp, covering my mouth. Who knew the billionaire played so rough? I used to think Leo was such a big shot. My ex-mother-in-law squinted. "What billionaire?" "I'm talking to you, stay on topic." I sighed and dropped onto the sofa. "I told you your intel is obsolete. Your son divorced me because he'd already landed his next mark, our city's richest heiress." I paused, watching her jaw unhinge, then added sweetly, "I get it now. Leo probably never wanted you to know. A better life is only for him, not for family." She swung at me, I ducked, and her palm cracked against the corner of the glass table instead. "Ow. You little witch, have you no shame?" I lifted my phone, thumb hovering over the call icon. "Your son and I are divorced. You're trespassing in my townhouse, assaulting me. I'm within my rights. Keep it up and you'll taste jail time before you see Leo again." Seeing her cradle her bruised hand, I feigned sympathy. "Silly me, Leo can't even save himself these days. Why would he care about you?" She forced her eyes open, snarling, "Trash-tongued viper. My son was born under a lucky star, a dragon among men. You're just jealous of his good fortune." I shrugged, there's no reasoning with the willfully blind. Once the pain subsided, she jabbed again. "Don't imagine you'll keep this place, Julia. My family paid for it, you only covered decoration. I'll fight you for every brick." True, they'd bought the shell, but my renovation budget could have purchased 2 more townhouses like it. I closed my eyes calmly. For now it's still my home. Walk out on your own, or I'll escort you. She flung herself about like a fish on deck. "I'm your elder. Drag me out and I'll sue you into the ground." I marched to the bathroom, fetched the plunger, something questionable still clinging to the rubber cup, and held it inches from her cheek. "Then let me show my filial piety, stay for dinner." One sideways glance at the dripping plunger and she sprang up, shrieking toward the door. She yanked it open, curses ready, then froze. Serena was walking Leo on a leash. Yes, walking. Leo? My ex-mother-in-law's pupils quaked. She shuffled forward, dumbstruck. Leo looked right through us as Serena tugged him toward the package pickup. When she collected her parcel, no neighbor dared glance over. Serena's reputation traveled faster than gossip. "Leo! What are you doing?" My ex-mother-in-law snatched the leash. Leo snarled, bit the leash free, and dropped it back into Serena's hand. Serena stroked his hair, loud enough for all to hear, "If you're mine, you're only mine. Insane witch, keep your paws off my boy." My ex-mother-in-law kicked Serena aside. Without even looking at the older woman, Serena cooed to Leo, "Dylan, tell her what I plan to do with you." Alex let his gaze slide past his mother. "Serena and I are happy. Don't bother us again." He picked up the leash in his teeth and offered it to Serena. Smiling, she led him away with her boxes. I'd meant to leave this circus and start fresh, but after witnessing that spectacle I changed my mind. Last life, Leo had poisoned me in a single night. Now that fate granted me front row seats to his better life, I'd be a fool to waste the show. Arms folded, I told the stunned woman beside me, "If you want any dignity left, stop meddling. If he lets himself be led like a dog today, what will he become tomorrow?" She opened her mouth to curse, noticed every upstairs window crammed with onlookers, and slunk off in humiliation. After work everything felt eerily normal. I exhaled, maybe my life as a quiet spectator could finally begin. I pushed open my door, and found Leo sprawled on the couch like he owned it. Well, look who's back. Jamie. I circled the rooms twice, no sign of anyone else. Jordan smirked. Afraid I brought friends? Worried about him? I almost laughed. We're all humans here. Not pets on a string. I scanned the cramped living room. Tired of the gilded cage already? My walk-up unit doesn't come with a leash hook. Leo shot up, red-faced. This townhouse was my family's purchase. I've changed my mind, it's mine. I lifted an eyebrow. Does your owner know you're here? Panic flickered across his face. Then he straightened, warning, whatever I do, I'll always stand above you. I lowered my hand, amused. I'm here for one thing, I'm turning this place into Serena's pet playroom. Move out, while you still can. I looked around the townhouse and curled my lip. If your little billionaire knew you came looking for me today, do you think she'd let you off easy? Leo stepped in close, fingers hooking under my collar. Julia, I'd advise you to keep your mouth shut, this won't do you any favors. I blinked innocently. Why are you so close? Planning to kiss me? Want to rekindle what we had? With a brutal shove he flung me onto the sofa. Once I get through this patch, my better life starts, what would you know? Move out, fast, and stop fouling up my view. Through the kitchen window I caught the gleam of a pink Rolls-Royce just parking. I stepped up behind him and wrapped my arms around his waist. In the calmest voice I could muster, loud enough to carry, I said, I knew these years with you weren't wasted. Every word you said is carved in my heart. I'll wait for you, quietly. From now on I won't appear in front of you again, I won't be a bother. Leo spun around, staring. Julia, what kind of stunt is this? The next second he saw the slow smile spreading across my innocent face, and a chill crawled down his spine. Dylan, what are you two talking about? You look awfully cozy. His throat bobbed, he swallowed hard, terror naked on his face, and dropped to his knees with a thud. Serena, he said those things on purpose so you'd hear. We didn't do anything. I only came today to make her leave, so I can turn this place into a pet playroom for you. Serena's brows pinched. But you told me you only had eyes for me. When I walked in, you were definitely looking at her. His hands shook as he gripped her shoulders. Serena, believe me, since the day I came to you, my heart, my eyes, everything is yours alone. I can swear it. Her lips kept that half-smile while a jewel-bright nail traced his cheek, pausing at the corner of his eye. I don't want your oath. Tell me, which eye did you use to look at her just now? Watching the two of them, I felt my skin prickle and an urge to bolt. Leo opened his mouth, but before a word came out her nail had sliced his eye. He howled in agony. Serena cradled him, cooing, Dylan, don't cry. This is the only way you'll remember. From now on your heart and your eyes are mine alone. She lifted his face tenderly. Dylan, don't be sad. Even odd-colored eyes are beautiful. You'll be one of a kind in this world. Her gaze flicked to me, I stepped back instinctively. I'd always known the billionaire heiress had quirks, but not this extreme. Since you're not ready to move out, I'll give you 3 days to take your things. After that, you're never to pester him again, he belongs to me. She tucked herself against him as if they were fusing into one. I waved my hands frantically. No, no, keep the place, turn it into your pet playroom. I've got somewhere else. Hearing rumors had been nothing compared to seeing it myself. No wonder a burly guy like Leo had turned into this in under a month. Back when Leo and I fought, I'd bought a small unit in this same compound, intending to rent it out. Now that he wanted the townhouse back, fair enough. After today's spectacle I assumed he'd lie low, maybe steer clear of me for good. Yet before night fell my phone rang, his voice a whisper. Julia, I'm warning you, get out of that house now. You've already cost me an eye. I've got nothing left to lose, you won't squeeze a single penny out of me. I rolled my eyes. Isn't your billionaire giving you enough? Why haggle over my scraps? He swallowed audibly, panic crackling through the line. Tomorrow morning I start designing the pet playroom. If anything goes wrong, she'll take it out on me, and on you. High-heeled clack sounded in the background, the call cut off. I'd already relocated, but the conversation gnawed at me. If we were settling accounts, he could reclaim his life, I'd reclaim what was mine. So I grabbed a garden shovel and headed back to our old townhouse. I dug out every dream and fantasy I'd buried in the renovation, hacking until nearly dawn, anger fueling me so I never felt tired. Back at my new place I switched off my phone and slept like the dead. That townhouse had been our last tether, severing it meant we were truly done. Even if Serena's exotic pets couldn't move in on schedule, it wasn't my problem. More chaos for Leo meant more satisfaction for me. I slept until the next evening, body heavy. On my walk I drifted back to the old street. The whole block was cordoned off, patrol cars and a fire truck flanking the curb. Baffled, I slid my sunglasses on. Luckily no one recognized the former resident. "What's going on?" I asked a friendly-faced bystander. The auntie leaned in, voice low but excited. Around noon someone called about a lizard in their kitchen. Before the cops arrived, another neighbor called, said a crocodile was in their pool. Officers showed up and spotted endangered species slinking everywhere. Now I understood why Leo was frantic to house those creatures. Who'd want them next door? "So what's the latest?" I asked. She clapped her hands. "The couple who own them are fighting. The guy torched the place trying to burn the animals. Fire crews still putting it out." I would have stayed for more gossip, but police started dispersing the crowd. Back home I scrolled nonstop. A mess this big couldn't stay buried. I was still scrolling when the phone died in my hands. Only then did I remember, after yesterday's marathon of packing, I'd left my phone charger in the old townhouse. I hit 3 different corner stores and not one of them stocked the right cable. My courage finally stiffened. Serena didn't strike me as an unreasonable woman. When I stepped inside again, the place felt alien. Overnight it had turned inside out, and the stench of fresh ash clung to the air. A woman's gentle voice drifted from the bedroom. "Someone swears they saw you light the match." "I don't believe them." A pause, then, "Because I trust you. If you love me, you'll love every part of my world. Don't you find the little darlings adorable?" A man's terrified shriek tore through the room. I didn't dare picture what Serena was doing, but the sound, raw, teetering on despair, made me shudder. I was wrong, Serena. I only brushed against the heat source by accident. I never meant to burn them, and I got scorched too. Believe me, please. I really know I was wrong. Serena sighed, soft and sweet as running water. Of course I believe you. Then give him a kiss, all right? Make friends with him and I'll know you like him too. A heartbeat of silence, then the man's panic erupted again, as though something unspeakable had brushed his skin. "Dylan, what's the matter?" Serena fretted. "We get along perfectly every day. He's never like this. You two just need more playtime, that's all." Through the gap in the bedroom door I spotted my charger still lying on the nightstand. I cursed my lack of magic, otherwise I could have floated the thing straight into my hand. Luck was with me, distance was short. I reached for the extendable drying pole propped against the wall and tried to hook the cable, but today the pole felt oddly heavy. When I pulled it forward, a chameleon materialized on the tip. I yelped. Serena heard me, squealed in mimicry, and rushed out to cradle the chameleon against her chest. "What are you doing here?" she asked, bewildered, then whipped her gaze toward the bed. Leo waved frantically. "I swear I had no idea. We haven't spoken since that last time, you can check the records if you want." A python coiled across his torso, and the crocodile I'd heard the neighbors gossip about lay docile on the comforter. Leo's face was the color of cement. He stared at me like I was his last lifeline, but he didn't dare move. Surveying the chaos, I explained, "I left something behind when I moved out yesterday. I only came to pick it up." "I haven't contacted him at all." Serena gave a tiny nod and personally handed me the charger from the nightstand. I bolted as if the house were on fire. At the doorway something soft and boneless tangled around my ankle. I didn't look down, just kicked free and fled. "What's wrong with you?" "The moment anyone else shows up, your attention slips away from me." I didn't stop until I was outside the building entrance. The man's scream still rang in my ears. I patted my chest to steady my heart. A billionaire was not an ordinary human. Provoke her and you're toast. I wondered whether Leo's guts were already knotted with regret. For days I took the long way around the complex. Whenever residents swapped gossip about the two of them, I clamped my hands over my ears, afraid one extra syllable would drag me back into danger. One evening, fresh from a shower and ready for a good sleep, I heard the fish tank in the living room shatter. Panic spiked. I grabbed the pepper spray and rolling pin I kept handy and inched toward the light. My heart was in my throat when Leo materialized, dropping to his knees and clutching my pajama leg. "Julia, please, get me out of here. I can't survive another day. If you don't take me with you, I'm dead." I looked down with a cold smile. Wasn't Mr. Maxwell about to morph into a tycoon? "You hooked our local celebrity billionaire, afraid you'll run out of better days?" I let the scorn drip. "Or could it be that since you moved in, not one of those days has actually been better?" I was ready to keep skewering him, but the sight of his neck and chest, dotted with burns and streaked with hardened wax, made me suck my teeth. "Seems snagging a fortune isn't child's play. Back then you were ready to kill me just to claim her." Leo's head snapped up, disbelief in his eyes. He couldn't figure out how I knew. Of course he didn't, I'd already died once. Last time I'd been too stupid to stick around and watch him regret. I tried to kick him off, but he was so weak he crumpled before my foot made contact. He looked drugged, tears spilled instantly as he grabbed my pants again. "Julia, sweet Julia, I was so wrong. Just say you'll take me away and I'll obey every word. I'll never talk back. I'll be your ox, your horse, whatever you want for the rest of my life." I crouched and studied him. Sure enough, the moment I showed a sliver of softness he started smelling hope. Serena had reshaped him this thoroughly in so little time, terrifyingly impressive. "You know her reach. You think if I hide you she won't track you down?" I slipped the rolling pin under his chin and lifted. "Or maybe you fancy yourself clever, sneaking here tonight without her noticing?" Something occurred to me. I glanced at his dull, blood-flecked eye and sighed. "Wonder how the princess will punish you when she finds out. Gouge the other eye? Snap a leg? Or order you to sleep cuddled to your favorite pet?" Those few sentences broke him. He collapsed, hugging his head, sobbing uncontrollably. "I really know I messed up. I don't know what to do anymore. Save me, please. She's a real demon. If you won't, I'll end up dead." I walked to the door, ready to shove him out, but paused so he could die knowing why. "Yet I begged you the same way, begged you not to divorce me, just to keep our family whole. You were the one who sprinted toward the money. If regret could rewind time, the world would be lined with miracles." With that, I shoved the door wide and motioned for the man on the floor to get out. I never expected that the instant the door swung open he would snap shut like a switch. He stood up obediently and padded to the threshold. Puzzled, I turned. Serena was right behind me, smiling a smile that gave nothing away as she looked the man up and down. She brushed imaginary dust from Leo's shoulders. "Dylan, where have you been? I've searched everywhere. Didn't you promise you'd never leave me?" Before he could answer, a sharp odor hit me. I glanced down. Leo had wet himself at Serena's few soft words. She stroked his cheek, cooing, "Dylan, you're being naughty." Leo seemed to have forgotten how to speak. He stammered, then said nothing at all. Had I not seen what I'd seen days earlier, I couldn't have imagined what torments awaited him once Serena took him home. Watching the two of them walk away, I thanked heaven she hadn't brought her bizarre menagerie with her today. Otherwise I wouldn't have slept a wink. Leo knew perfectly well where I now lived, so to spare myself any future entanglements with those two lunatics, I decided to move. The past should stay past. In this lifetime Leo had already met the fate he deserved. Now that heaven had granted me a fresh start, I wasn't going to waste it on that scumbag again. While I supervised the movers loading my furniture, excited shouts suddenly rippled through the complex. Kids on scooters squealed with delight while their parents yelled at them to hurry home. Suspicious, I wondered, what now? Did Serena let her pets loose? Normally, if Serena were involved, residents would avert their eyes and hurry off, but today they formed a dense, gawking ring. Maybe this time it had nothing to do with that pair. Curiosity tugged me forward. I threaded through the crowd, expecting to see nothing through the crush of bodies. Instead, one glance froze me in place, and I instantly understood why parents had rushed their children indoors. There was Leo, stark naked, standing in front of everyone. The only son of doting parents, he'd been indulged since birth, school and career had both been smooth, obstacle-free rides. His mother and father had toiled their whole lives so their boy would never have to suffer. He had swallowed his pride and taken the security job only to get closer to the billionaire. Now everything he'd wished for had come true, yet it all tasted sour. Gossip in the crowd said Serena had been arrested the previous night for trafficking protected wildlife. When officers entered the mansion, they found only a single unhinged man and his collection of freakish pets. Someone quickly called. Leo was beaming and waving at onlookers, his mind clearly slipping, and no one could predict what he might do next. My ex-mother-in-law rushed over the instant she heard, clutching Leo desperately. "Son, what's happened to you? Didn't you say you'd live a better life? How did you end up like this?" Leo didn't seem to recognize her. Smiling vacantly, he pushed her aside and shuffled on. Unable to accept it, she grabbed his hand again. "What's wrong, child? Don't you know me? Tell me, who am I?" The smile vanished. Leo threw his head back and laughed as though she'd told the greatest joke. "Who am I? I'm a rich woman's dog." She collapsed, wailing. Spotting me in the crowd, she sprang up and pointed, shaking with rage. I turned away before she could reach me. With so many people around and sirens closing in, there was no room for her theatrics. I had saved a decent sum over the years. I took it and went home to live with my parents. They had never approved of my marriage, and I'd worried they'd be upset by the divorce. Instead, the very next day they marched a blind date into the house. Parental order, matchmaker's word, everything moved faster than I'd ever dreamed, and happiness arrived sooner than expected. 5 years later, my child had a field trip in the city, only my second visit since I'd left. To teach self-reliance, I kept my distance, waiting for each excited report. "Mom, I just saw a really weird man on his knees acting like a puppy." People were laughing, but he looked happy. Following my child's finger, I saw the entrance to the psychiatric hospital. My heart beat faster. I already knew the answer as I led my child toward the strange man. Sure enough, it was Leo. Just like years ago, a rusty chain around his neck, he crawled on hands and knees, barking like a dog while the crowd roared with laughter. I knelt and hugged my child. "Let's go, sweetheart. Mom will take you for something yummy." As I stood, Leo's eyes met mine. Without a word, he barked twice, flashed a grin, and scampered off on all fours. Thanks for listening to today's story. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, hit like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. See you next time.